Hey guys, it's FVLAM here. So my audio got messed up for this episode, so you're gonna hear a lot of echoing from my mic and whenever I speak. I've tried to minimize it as much as possible and make it bearable for you guys. I've also cut out a lot of things that I say throughout the episode, but I just wanted to give that privacy here at the beginning of the episode. And yeah, thanks, enjoy, and thanks you for watching. Guys, since we're talking about Arceus today, and we're talking about the Hisui region, I just want to show off a couple of my really favorite cards I have here in the back. I feel like we got a lot of comments about all my cards and stuff. So like, I mean, look at these babies. We got I got Volo. Volo is really cool. Oh, it's not blur. It's the camera's
focusing.
What is that?
We got this guy, or where is he at? Right there. Yeah. And then we got Arzu. We got,
Can you give me the Flannery?
The Flannery? No, I can't give you the Flannery. I'm sorry. Flannery's my favorite. What about you, Gabe? What do you like?
I'll take your glasses. So, I don't have a card, but what I do have is Furret. But look at his face. Something's off about him. What is this, guys? What do you think? What do you think it is? Oh,
is Furret in Arceus? I don't think he is he?
I don't think he is. I think Furret. But you know what Furret is in, or you know what is inside of Furret is Ditto. It's a Ferocity.
There he is.
That's right. Yeah, look at that. He's poking the thing out.
Yeah, I mean, what about you?
Poop out Furret.
I don't know. People told me this Tornadus was cool whenever I got it. I mean, where's that? Yeah, there we go. See some alt art
Tornadus
stuff.
is cool though.
Oh, that's pretty.
But I mean, look at all these rainbows, man. They're just so pretty. They're just so good.
Yeah, we get it. You're really cool. But you bought all those. You didn't even pull them. You bought them.
I only bought a couple. The Charizard I pulled.
No, because I know I've been trying to buy, or I've been trying to get Flam to send me a Flannery for like
Arzu I bought.
now.
I didn't pull. I pulled the Charizard.
I'm surrounded by nerds.
Wasn't I?
Oh my god!
What it do, everybody? Welcome to the Boosted View podcast. Today we have a special guest with us. If they would like to introduce themselves.
Hello, guys. I'm Yami Ko. Hello, Gabe.
Hi, Yami.
Hello. Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the podcast, Yami. I'm FVLAM, and yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm Fuse. Yeah. Is that it?
We're waiting for Gabe. Gabe, who are you?
I'm excited.
Are we missing a host?
Gabe.
And you are, sir? I guess he's Gabe. You're Gabe? Okay. Most unscripted, unscripted script ever.
Yeah, welcome to the Boosted View podcast. Here on the Boosted View, we talk about lots of old games in retrospective. Today, we're talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. We're in the middle of our Pokemon review series. We've been working our way from the newest to the oldest games, and this is our second episode in that series. So, yeah, we have a few questions. We're going to start with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl today, and we're going to kind of break that down and, figure out what do we like about it, what we don't like about it, and, yeah, so we'll just go on with it. And so we like to start with, how did you guys purchase this game, and then do you have a digital physical copy? Did you get any promos with it? Anything along those lines? Since we have our beautiful guest Yami here today, I would like you to start with that question. Yami, go for it.
All right, so I mean, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I got Brilliant Diamond first of all because I'm a broke college student, so I could not afford both of them like some other people. We were in that life right there, right, Gabe? But yeah, so I went ahead and got Brilliant Diamond, and sole purposes to do a Nuzlocke on it, and it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of nostalgia, so it was great. I pre-ordered it, but I don't remember getting anything. Oh yeah, no. For some reason, all the GameStops that I go, okay, I have a GameStop I really like. This is normally where I purchase my games. Every time I pre-order there, I never get a pre-order bonus. Like, I almost never do. Even if they have one, I think I got 10 Pokeballs or something. I don't know.
That's awful. That's awful.
Those are hard to get too.
Yeah, it's like it's not like I could go into a mart and just buy Pokeballs.
So I got the double pack physical, and actually it might have been. I don't know. I have to check again, but I did get these promo pins, and I think they're my favorite out of all the ones I've gotten. That's why they're on my microphone.
I missed out on promo. I missed out on those.
You missed out on the pins.
I know. Gabe has one on his hat right now.
Bro. I do. Yeah, I actually have the Palkia. I always forget. Yeah, and then Quinn gave me Jirachi.
Yeah, and I got mine on my.
Not on your
on your what?
On your.
You can't do the
Oh my
beep.
gosh.
You can't do the beep bit twice in a row.
Why not? It's funny.
Brought to you by Chipotle Reptilian Grill.
I mean, true. That's not bad.
Fuse is trying to farm TikToks right now.
Honestly.
Yes, I run the TikTok channel for the Boosted Pod. I gotta
You
get
do
a
run the
couple of
TikTok
them,
channel.
dude. I gotta.
Listen, Fuse, as a TikToker myself, I would have to say I appreciate the drive and hustle for that.
Fuse, how did you get the game?
So I got both of them. I got the digital pack because, you know, I just love throwing my money at Papa Game Freak because I'm lazy. I don't like going out to GameStops and stuff if I'm not gonna get something really cool in the pre-order bonuses, if you will. I think I got mine from. I don't think I got it from the Nintendo shop. I think I got it from Amazon because Amazon had like this thing where you got like an assortment of the different types of Pokeballs, like the heavy ball, fast ball, quick ball, and stuff like that, which I thought was okay. Because, you know, as the games went further on in every generation, the pre-order bonuses got weaker. But even still, I just went for that because I thought, I could use a heavy ball for something cool. What if I run to like a Munchlax or a Snorlax? Boom. Get that assortment going on, you know? So that's what I went for.
Why not Quickballs?
Quickballs.
Quickballs?
Let's talk about Quickballs. Let's talk about it. Come on, let's completely segue. I'm kidding.
You use Quickballs for your shinies?
Fucking nerd. Oh my god. It's just a can of worms that's not worth talking about.
Yeah, we'll have a Quickball episode later down the road.
Yeah,
okay?
later on. We'll talk about the drama of Pokemon.
By the time we
True.
talk about it, it'll be like so dead
Months.
and
The
gone.
most
So
worthless
gone.
drama. Okay,
Literally.
that's all I gotta say on it. Like,
Gabe, did you get just one copy since you only have the diamond or the pearl pin, or did you guys get a double pack and split it between you and Quinn?
So she got Pearl, I got Pearl. For some reason, her GameStop didn't give her pins at all. She got nothing, even though I think she technically pre-ordered it, which I did too. She got it obviously for a completely different GameStop. I got mine, you know, from my local. You know, I got the pins. The pins, you know, they're cool. Whatever. I don't really expect.
Wait, you mean to tell me you have a whole girlfriend and you did not utilize
Girls?
this in order to get game exclusives? Like, y'all both got
know.
Pearl?
Well, okay, so the reason is, so growing up, my brother David, we, you know, every game, Halo, Zelda, Pokemon, everything, he would always get, you know, one version, I got the other. I got Pearl, he got Diamond, he got White, I got Black. And then for some reason, I got White 2 and he got Black 2, even though you're supposed to say White 2 and Black 2 for the story, all that stuff. But we just wanted to be quirky and different. So he got Diamond this time around. I got Pearl. Personally, there was no reason for me to get the double pack. I wish they would have done something like $10 to $15 off the double, just, you know, because that's a bundle. You know how bundles usually are, but
Okay,
no big deal, no big deal. But so that's how that worked. If I needed exclusives, I would hit up David and vice versa, and Quinn, of course, too.
Oh,
you know,
of course,
just an extra. Yeah. So yeah.
So so for those who don't know, the if you couldn't gather already, GameStop had a promo for this game pack that was these 2 pens that you can see on my microphone. They're really cool, but I think that's all the promos they did. Like, I don't think they even did. What is that? Is that one
They're
from
kissing.
Target, or is that just
they're
something
from
that you have?
Original 151.
Oh my
okay,
gosh,
gotcha.
that's crazy.
Shout out to Original 151, a great
Cool
Pokemon
store.
store. Yeah,
Beaver
very
Creek,
cool store.
Ohio.
Yeah. So yeah, that there's not too much to talk about that stuff. So, but it was like some promos. It was fun. I remember waiting in line for it. It was I don't know. It's always nice to have like a cool experience in the GameStop or like whatever line you're waiting in for at the store to like, oh, let's talk to some people around me about Pokemon.
Yeah.
And that's something I've always enjoyed. You know.
Yep.
But yeah. So on that, what was your guys' first impressions of the game? I want to know, you know, what do we think moving into it? Because Gen 4 is my favorite generation, and I was very excited for these games. And I don't know,
Same here.
Yeah.
Same.
I'll start with this, and I just think they did not. I don't know. They didn't hit that nostalgia copium like as they should have. At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
No,
In my
They were.
opinion, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
In my opinion, they had a lot of opportunity, especially when like the thing to remember though is that Game Freak didn't make this remake. They outsourced it. So there's a lot of pros and cons, but honestly, in my opinion, there's more cons than pros. They could have taken elements and changed it around and made it like better, like how they did for like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, what they did for Ruby and Sapphire. They added new story elements, new things, new features, but it was just like they basically made Diamond and Pearl and just made it shipified, which is like chippies.
So
that's it.
For those who don't know, this one was made by a company called Ilka. That was the company who made these remakes, and I would argue these games are almost like too faithful of an adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't all it did was kind of reskin it. None of the mechanics are different. Nothing is different. They didn't really add any features, and the few features that they did add didn't really make it worth like the $60 that each game was, when you can easily emulate this game on any other program or try to get whatever on your DS. So, but that's just my opinion. Gabe, what do you think?
Performance wise, I don't think I remember a single time in this game where there was like stuttering, frame drops, kind of like,
true.
Obviously very opposite of Scarlet and Violet, obviously, because it's not like, the game's engine it's a way smaller game, obviously. So, it'd be kind of crazy if it, performance wise was, thumbs down. But I like I said before, love music. I think this game did the music justice AF, about, like the lake theme, the Pokemon Center night theme. Oh my God, literally one of my favorites. Route 228 is probably like in my top 3 like songs of all time. Yeah. Probably night version is what I prefer.
228 is probably one of my best too, honestly.
Yeah, and it's like an 80s jazzy song. It's like it was like how I reacted the same way when I heard 228 that I did like when in Area Zero in Scarlet and Violet. I was like, this is such a weird, it doesn't sound like Pokemon, but it does. It's perfect. I love it. I like the games. They were a lot of fun. Yes, I think there were a lot of missed opportunities, which obviously we will hit later in this cast. But overall, I still enjoyed it as a whole package. The music and just, of course, nostalgia is easy. I always consider nostalgia to be a little bit lower in the importance list, because even though I loved growing up with this game and it's my favorite generation, I have to, talk about it. From outside of nostalgia alone. But overall though, I do like the game. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, hit us with your opinion, Nami.
Yeah, the game was really cool. I liked it personally, but mainly for the fact that it was a way to replay Gen 4 again. I have to give Game Freak a lot of I give them a lot of slack, because they told us from the get-go this is going to be a 1-to-1 remake, right? And so They did openly say that. They said this game is going to be a 1-to-1 remake of Diamond and Pearl. They literally said, don't expect anything. It was us wanting more content, or a lot of buyers wanting more content, to where we were just like, oh, they're going to sneak in kind of like how Oros had the Delta episode, right? They're going to sneak stuff in, maybe tie Giratina into it. But they didn't, and people were mad about that. I just have to say, you bought exactly what they said that you were going to be getting. I felt in other cases, the only thing I could really complain about is just it just feels slow. It genuinely feels slow. Just because you walk slower, everything. And I'm also, pilled from playing ROM hacks and everything, right? So I'm always on speed up.
The power of the speed up button.
Yeah, I'm going from playing at 4 times speed, going from Bag to Veilstone in 2 minutes versus having to spend 5 hours, But other than that, I think they did the game justice. I like how they made the Elite Four an actually difficult thing. They gave Pokemon brutal items and everything. It was tough. That was one of my favorite changes that they made to him, actually kind of making him semi-competitive.
Yeah, so the only feature I think that they added in this game that was actually wasn't a 1-to-1 remake was in the underground they added like dens where you could catch Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
But everything else about the underground was basically the same, other than like the base
traps in the base building.
Traps,
yeah.
They took that out in favor of putting these dens that you can just run around and catch Pokemon in. And there's actually Pokemon that they use it as a way to kind of introduce Pokemon into the Pokedex that weren't in it previously, like a lot of fire types. Because in the original games, there was, I think, 4 fire types in the entire Pokedex.
Oh, yeah.
One of them being the starter.
Like, people who wanted to do Nuzlocke to those games, they'd be like, I'm doing fire type only. And it's like, good luck. You got to start Chimchar and you get a Ponyta. Like, what else is there?
Literally.
Like, you have to play Platinum version to get access to Magmortar. Like,
it's so funny because even in the original games, when you go to the Elite Four, there's a fire type Elite Four, and his entire team is not made of fire types. He has 2 non-fire types.
He has a Lopunny.
Yeah.
Well, we all know his reason for having a Lopunny fuse. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a Lopunny on their team?
Yeah.
This is true. I do love some Lopunnies.
He starts with Drifblim.
Okay, listen, it gets Will-O-Wisp, man. It gets Will-O-Wisp. I don't know if it has it, but it gets it. It's a fire-type move. It's a fire-type move. Hot air, dude. It's a hot air balloon. Get it? It's theme-wise, man. Lopunny's a hot Pokemon. It makes sense.
Oh, it's hot. Okay, now I get it.
See? It's just Flint's team was definitely thought out, okay? Whenever they were like, what fits the theme? He's a hot head.
Brought the heat.
Like, come on.
Yeah, Steelix is so sexy, bro. I love Steelix.
I don't know.
You guys think
it gets
that...
Fire Fang. It gets Fire Fang. That's all I gotta say for that. It's a hot head. I don't know. It looks angry. He should have had a Primeape, honestly.
True. Yeah, where's the Primeape? Come on.
He had the Infernape, sadly. That was already the monkey.
Automatic -3 if Primeape's not in the game.
Best it can be. 3 out of 10, honestly.
3 out of 10, literally.
Do you guys think the game would be better or worse if Game Freak made it? Because I know that we were talking about like performance issues a second ago, and especially with like newer games in the series, performance issues seems to be a recurring theme for Game Freak. So do you guys think that it's better that Elka made these, or they outsourced it, or do you think Game Freak would have made something better?
But what Game Freak was talking about, I feel like that they were gonna do like a 1-for-1 shot for it anyway. At least by how they presented it to us when Elka was the one that made it. I would have liked, in my opinion, to see a little bit more change than just the underground start. Like they couldn't like. I'm a huge Mega Evolution stand. They couldn't give Cynthia Mega Garchomp. That would have been so much cooler. I'm just being honest.
It would have been nice to see Mega Gen 4 starters. Like, exactly. It would have been nice.
It would have been so cool. But, like, I mean, I feel like even if that... The only thing I think that would maybe different would be that the look of the game would be different. It wouldn't be chippy style like they did for like how Elko designed it. It would be something more on the lines of like Sword Shield, or possibly like a prelude to how Arceus and Scarlet and Violet characters were designed as. Maybe I think that'd be the only difference in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. And I remember talking about with people before they even announced that there was a Gen 4 remake coming, that I was wishing that maybe some routes would just be wild areas, and I think that would be really neat to see, because there's a lot of really long stretches of routes that could be wild areas in this game, and you could really make a lot of stuff that happened in Sword and Shield. But as we'll talk about in the second half of this podcast, what they did was they kind of said this is their faithful whatever, and then we're going to do something totally new, and all these new features we're going to put into this other game, Arceus. So I get it was a disappointment. It was a disappointment, but also a joy in the same time, because we got a faithful adaptation, but then we also got something with like a ton of new features. I mean, literally a whole new game IP at this point. So new series. But yeah, so I guess we should talk about, what do you guys think you would have added to BDSP to make it better if you wanted something like that? What would you put into it? Like I mentioned the adding like wild areas into the longer routes. What about you guys?
I mean, I would have changed the title of Shining Pearl. I would have made it Shining Marbles, personally. I think it would have been better.
Shining Marbles with friends.
Yeah, I think Brilliant Diamond Shining Marbles would have been a better name. Like, imagine Pokemon BDSM. Like, it would be so great.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I see.
I took me a sec too.
I was like, he's doing this joke. He's actually bringing this to the table here. Oh my god.
I think they should have personally, if I had changed something else, is just had it be platinum. Just be platinum. Just be a 1-to-1 remake of platinum.
I think that would have been great.
Because platinum is already goated, and if you kept all the features platinum has and then thrown that new stuff in the underground, I think it would have been a way more enjoyable experience.
Well, it's like how we said, you know, I said earlier about how Oras had the Delta episode. I think they should have had an episode for Giratina. I think Spear Pillar should have split off. Like, no matter which version you played, I think whenever you went to Spear Pillar, whether it was Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, Giratina still should have shown up there. I still think that should have been a thing.
Like a Distortion World quest or something.
Adding a Distortion World quest would have been amazing.
God, I love the Distortion World. Something like that.
And they could have made it to where it's like you couldn't have caught Giratina till after post game still, but it still introduces it, right? And then you still have to get your box, like you still have the chance to soft reset for your box legendary or something. Like, it would be cool if they made like a little twist to it in some way. But I don't know. Like, imagine you get your box legend, like Cyrus spawns both the legendaries. You get your box legendary. Like, what if it's a force catch? Like, you get your box legendary, and then from then on, you have to like fight Dialga. So like, you know, you're playing Shining Pearl, you get Palkia, you fight Dialga. After that battle happens, cool. Giratina appears. Like, that would be a great twist to add to it.
Like,
that'd be cool. Okay.
Like something along the lines of like you catch like Dialga and Palkia, and then I was like, oh no, there's some weird thing going on at Mount Spear. What's going on over there?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, okay. And then we head over there, and then oh my god, there's a portal open. Oh my god, that'd be so crazy.
Like Gen 5, right? Like how you have to get your box legendary, and then from the box legendary, you like, you know, you have that battle, and then you fight Getsus and everything afterwards.
Exactly. Oh, Getsus.
The big things for me would be, I mean, because, dude, Giratina's origin form is literally, like, one of the most beautiful Pokemon I've ever seen. Beautiful as in, like, an ancient, like, demon god Pokemon. I think that's so Distortion World. The fun little capture the flag, traps, you know, the bases not being just everything, you know. I missed, like, having a slide and a table, making my own little Animal Crossing base, you know, in Pokemon. That was fun. That's, I'd say, a little bit lower, but still something I missed for sure. And then there was something else I was thinking about, something that wasn't included. I wish, oh man, you know, I lost it. I had it in my mind, but I'll come back to it later if I remember
man.
it.
We know you want Z moves back. All right.
I know, dude.
You want Z moves back.
You want the Z moves back, bro. I wanted Mega Evolution back so bad. Like,
Megas, I missed them so much.
Yeah, honestly, I think Megas would have been great. It would have been a great adjustment. What?
Gen 3 is the only one that gets the last shot at Mega Evolutions, and then Gen 4 is just left in the tides.
Well,
dude?
I mean, like, just think about it. Like, how many Gen 4 Pokemon actually have Mega Evolutions, right? Like, already, as speaking, like, we know we have Lopunny, we have Lopunny, we have Lopunny.
All right, there you go.
Mega
Stop
Glade.
the Lopunny joke, Jesus Christ.
Okay, here I remember it. So this was a little bit more minor as well.
Okay.
So wait,
I need to farm TikToks, Flam.
Come on, man. Wait, hold on.
Austin's not disappointed.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh wait, hold on. This is more important than y'all's podcast right now.
Oh god.
What's happening?
I just got a match on Tinder with a goth girl.
Whoa, goth girl? Is she a MILF too?
But
I'm cutting this out of the podcast.
Dang it. Come on.
It's me for the TikTok.
Okay. Anyways,
Wi-Fi Plaza.
We kind of touched on this. Did the what do we think about like the battle frontier that was in the game, and then also what do we think of like so we talked about Giratina, that was kind of fun, but otherwise they kind of really watered down the post game experience in general.
There was a battle frontier.
There's a battle frontier.
Yeah,
there is. Yeah, it's to the right of the is it the fight area, kind of like northeast.
It's just like one building though. It's not like a plaza like it was in the previous game. It's just like the one building. You go up and battle, and then you battle
boring.
Barry's dad or something.
Huh?
I'm gonna be honest.
I think that's a thing.
As soon as I did my Nuzlocke of BDSP, I dropped it so fast.
Honestly, no. I did my Nuzlocke, and the only thing outside of that I think I remember doing was a shiny hunting race, and then I was done. Like, it was just, BDSP was never touched again. I went back to, like, I don't know, what was I playing? Blaze Black?
Sorry,
I don't know.
It's called the Battle Tower. It's not a battle frontier. It's just a battle tower.
It is just a one
tower.
tower.
It's not. Yeah. So it's not a frontier. It's just like a one building. You go in.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Wait, hold on. Did they not add all the extra? I haven't played that part. Did they not add all the extra routes there either?
They did not. Oh, you mean like the island? No, that's still all there.
Yeah. So like, the fight area is the entire island, but survival area is the first one, and then to the northeast of survival area is Battle Tower. To the very north is, I forget what it's called, and then to the right is my beloved Route 228 with the resort area. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all that stuff, that's still there.
Okay.
I remember post-game experience. What I did is the Pal Park or whatever. It's something else now. Is it Pal Park? Is that what it's called now?
No, it's called it's not. Wait.
It has very quirky music.
Where you would go to like transfer your Pokemon in this game is something different, right? Yeah.
It's cool, but I think it's very repetitive with how you get the cool mons. You know, obviously in Diamond you get this, in Pearl you get that. I think in Pearl you get the legendary birds in Ho-Oh, and then Diamond, blah, blah, blah. I liked it at first a little bit, but it just felt a little tedious and repetitive because you got to go underground, you got to get like these like gems and things like that, and then you can pay the fine. Haha. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a neat way to introduce the legendaries in the game that like weren't in the Dynamax raids and Sword and Shield, because this was the same generation as those games, and so it was an interesting way to like bring those legendaries back that you didn't have in those games. And I thought I thought that was actually a cool feature of the game. And it does take a little too much time to get all those resources and things because of how chancy it is to literally go into the underground. You have to mine for days.
Yeah,
but otherwise, I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, dude, the actual battles themselves, the caves were cool because like it was, the birds had these cool caves and Mewtwo had this cool cave. You know, the theme obviously was consistent with what the Pokemon was. So I thought that was neat.
Well, one last thing I'll touch on about the post game is I really enjoy rematching. What are you laughing about?
He's laughing.
Oh
yeah, the screen. It is, dude. It's because of my new light right here, so I just go along with it, bro. Okay, I'm just like Cappy's. Yeah,
sorry. Keep going.
No, you're good. Another cool thing about the post game was the rematching. If you thought that the first round of like Cynthia and stuff was hard, which they give a bunch of like really cool battle items, and like they give their teams like really good AI, and they make the teams like really specialized to
when you say good,
a battle niche. Huh?
Would you say good on the AI? I mean, it's still a little.
For the most part, a lot better than the past. That is
Yachi Berry Garchomp was amazing. All right, that was actually pretty cool.
Has the ice damage. I was like, you're gonna go hit me with the ice attack? Oh, too bad.
Yeah, like that Garchomp's still getting a hit off.
Ready this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you had to use a fairy type against that Garchomp, or you were just screwed.
Oh no, I still use Quagsire. I just threw that dude out. It's all I had. We ice beamed it. I lived on Friendship twice in a row. I think I got a back-to-back freeze.
Friendship.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh yeah, that was a mechanic they did add in this game that I guess we haven't touched on yet. Is they added a mechanic to where if you have a high friendship level with your Pokemon, then it will it can like endure when it KOs sometimes, or it can like automatically heal itself from status conditions. And it's just like a totally chance thing that can happen with a Pokemon that you have like a really high friendship level with. And that I thought that was actually kind of cool because I had a lot of really like clutch moments from that that came out of that, and so I actually kind of enjoyed that mechanic a lot actually.
Yeah, I mean, loving your Pokemon's just as skillful as landing a flinch. Like, come on.
Yeah, and it reminds me a lot of like how it feels in the anime when Ash's Pikachu gets like slammed into the wall across the arena and it barely gets back up. You know,
Come on, buddy, you can beat that level 5 Snivy. Trust.
Yeah,
Come on, you can do it. Let's go. I have a question for you guys though. Like it's not included in this, but I guess I'll give you guys a little preface. Like, when I go into these games, it's all about the atmosphere, you know, music. Oh my God, Gabe, music. I just won't shut up about it. But
no,
what is your favorite
that's
place?
Literally me too.
Like, like walking. I remember for the first time, me and David walking out of Mount Coronet. Is it Coronet? I always Coronet. Yeah, I say Coronet. Yeah, but I remember, you know, like you're going up to Spear Pillar. You don't know it's Spear Pillar yet, obviously, but you're going up and you step out and oh my God, it's snowing. This music is very like. You feel like you step kind of through a time portal, like in, you know, Skyward Sword, you know, going back in time or whatever. But, you know, and the music is like really pretty, and then the piano, and then it like kind of crescendos, and it's just like it starts getting really fast, and then it decrescendos, and it just slows back down, and it just. That was literally probably my most favorite area moment. Like hot on heels with Eterna Forest and like the Ghost Girl and Butler and the creepy like. I am so immersed in a little kid video game.
Cheryl.
Yes. Dude, Cheryl is looking very respectable and
is just say right, man. Right.
As ripe as the berries. He said ripe.
Is the ghost in BDSP like the one that like when you go to like in the original games, if you go into that mansion in the Eternal Forest, is it in there? Like
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, you can see him in the other
ghost in the old chateau. It's pretty crazy.
I'm fucking playing the game now.
Oh, I remember the thing I forgot about earlier.
Actually, you know what?
One of my backtracking things in the original game.
Wait, hold on. Backtracking real quick into what thing I wish we had added to the game. I wish they expanded on the old chateau. I actually wish that we had like some type of, because even in Platinum, we never got an answer to it, right? Like, Rotom in the TV. I wish they just like explained, like what if there was a mini quest with the old chateau? That would have been cool. Like just a little.
That would have been cool
because it's one of those places that you don't have to explore. But that's
the one song that I can remember for probably the rest of my life is when Cynthia's battle theme hits and the stress spikes by like 5 levels.
Yes. That game has such good music.
Yeah, literally though. Literally such good music though.
Love the music
so
in
good.
this game.
I'm trying to find this ghost in the chateau right now because that was literally one of my favorite things. Because as a kid, it freaked me the fuck out.
Same. And on a tiny little screen,
so
bro.
I scoured that entire, like I explored every inch of it, and then I saw the painting that with the eyes. That so I was like, okay,
it's crazy. I remember being a kid and walking into Old Chateau, and whenever like you see the ghosts go, like you know how whenever you enter a room. Sometimes in any video game, you might feel like some type of lag, like a little delay, like, and you're like, why can't I move around? And I remember I walked into that room and I was like pushing up on my like D-pad or whatever to move. And I'm like, why can't I move? And then I noticed the go across the room and I'm like, and then after the animation's over, I'm able to move again. And I was like, where'd they go?
We went to die out and eat them?
Yeah, exactly.
My God.
Amazing. All right, well, what would you guys give this game overall? I give it a 1 through 10. Since we're coming to about the halfway or over the halfway mark of the podcast. So yeah, give me a again, 1 being it's unplayable, nobody should buy it, it's a piece of dog shit, and then 10 being it's Elden Ring. It's Elden Ring Breath of the Wild, greatest game of all time.
Okay. I think for sheer fact that, you know, obviously Nintendo DSs and everything are like outdated, right? And whenever you think about it, these are games that are coming for, you know, they're marketed towards kids 100%, right? It's the adults that complain. But I think for people to get that Gen 4 experience, that's the great thing about remakes. And so I would say it's a solid 7. You know, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's not, it doesn't scratch my itch, but I think for any of my future students, kids, siblings, whatever, I'd 100% recommend it.
I think it is a perfect way to play the old format of Pokemon. Like if you do not like how new Pokemon is, I think it's the perfect game for people who like the old format or want to try the old format of Pokemon, because the new Pokemon has changed so much in a good way, but it's different. It's definitively different. So if you wanted to try, oh, this is what games used to be like, this is the perfect experience for those types of people, or who want to relive, Gen 4. I give it like a 7.5. I think it's great. I think it could have been more to it, but I mean, it's a solid game. Maybe, you know what? Let's bump it up to 8. I think it's an 8. And again, it might just be the nostalgia talking, but yeah, I think it's a solid game for a Pokemon game, and I think it's a good one. So,
actually, you could be reaching higher, Flam. I think it's actually it's done so good that it actually goes back to a 1.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna keep going up, but I was like, oh, okay.
No,
God. So this was Gen 4 my favorite. I know for like a lot of people, Austin, you said it was, but this, I think, there's some missed opportunities. Distortion World, Wi-Fi Plaza, which was a hidden gem I always forget about. The bases and the traps kind of being a little lackluster. I'm not a big fan of just putting statues up 24/7, but it's mostly minor things I have gripes with. I'm a very casual Pokemon player. So the fact that the music in Eterna Forest and Ripe Cheryl and just the music, oh my God, bro, the music was so good.
Yes.
I still had fun with it, and the Elite Four being a damn good challenge. 8.5 is probably my final verdict. It gets my badass seal of approval as a Pokemon game. Should people buy and play this? I think yes. If you're familiar with Pokemon, if you're not, yes, I think you'll like it. Will it be the best Pokemon? I don't think it'll be your favorite. I don't think it'll be a lot of people's favorite. But I think it's a solid, fun game. Overall.
All right, that was me. All right.
Yes. 69 out of 10.
I'm gonna speak for the people that have played Pokemon for the past 20 years. As far as for
I'm
the
not
game
old
itself. You're 3 years younger than me. You're old enough.
Okay.
Shut up, Yami. I'm gonna speak for the fact that they had the first Game Freak outreach to a different gaming company to go for this game, and they flat out said at the start it was gonna be a 1-for-1 remake. They kept it true to the music, to the experience. I really just wish that, and I think we all kind of agree on this, I wish they just went for the platinum playthrough instead of Diamond and Pearl. And honestly, in that aspect, I would have saved $60, because I probably should have just taken one of them, and it would have been the exact same game in my opinion.
Right.
So if I was to give it a general score for someone that's played Pokemon since Generation 1, for Yellow was my first game, I'd give it probably a 6. Yeah. Probably a 6 or a 5.5, to be honest. For the simple fact that I'm talking for the older generation, not the new kids. New kids, I'd probably give it about a 7, probably a solid 7. It will not be your favorite game.
Okay.
So you thought this was a worse experience than Scarlet and Violet?
Yep.
Oh wow, okay.
It was a simple fact that I'm still playing Scarlet, and it's been about 3 months. I played BDSP for less than 2 weeks, then dropped it immediately.
I could attest to that because even with Sword and Shield, right? I still played it for a while. I attempted VGC. Exactly. We didn't get a new VGC scene with BDSP and everything. It was just its own game. So yeah, I could see that. I dropped BDSP real quick. After I beat that Nuzlocke, I mean, I supported all my friends who shiny hunted on it and everything. It was rough. It was rough for me. I was itching for Legends to come out.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, speaking of Legends, let's move on to that part.
Yes.
So this is probably something I'm gonna praise very highly.
Listen, I'm gonna geek on this topic. I'm telling you right now.
I'm going to my pants on this, bro. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Pants stay brown, baby. Pants stay brown.
I love Legends. Legends is so good.
It was.
I want all Pokemon games to be like Legends. And
it was. Anyways, it was a breath of fresh air. Oh my God.
I think. hot opinion. I think Legends is better than Scarlet and Violet.
Really?
I think Scarlet and Violet. Yeah,
that's tough for me.
I have it like tied, in my opinion. I got about tied, but that's because I didn't have too many issues with Scarlet and Violet, like, performance-wise.
I enjoy the new things they introduced in Legends more than I did the new things they introduced in Scarlet and Violet. Not saying Scarlet and Violet's like bad, but it's just much. I enjoyed Arceus a lot more.
I will say, I mean, Legends did get kind of stale to me at one point, but I mean, we'll probably get into that like further on. So what?
Yeah.
What's going on with this topic?
Give us our first impressions. Give us and also tell us what star you picked. Let's start with Fuse.
Okay, so I picked Cyndaquil because I like my little anteater flame
baby.
boy. Little baby.
I love him.
And honestly, like, I'm gonna talk about probably about the first hour. The second you fall out of the sky after giving you meet Arceus right at the get-go, apparently get taken from your world and get literally an Arceus phone. And I'm like, oh my god, this is like the coolest. I wish I had this
God,
thing
is that you?
in real. God, hello, we're best friends. Text me.
Honestly.
And then I meet the dude that's wearing a headband, like a giant like bandana. I'm like, oh my god, it's me. It's dude. And then we get to like do the cashes tutorial where we throw the actual Pokeballs physically at the Pokemon. You could miss. You can see them like shake around and do like the ancient Pokeball thing, which I think is like a great aesthetic. And then you go into the town and he's like, oh well, people don't really like catch Pokemon. People fear Pokemon. Pokemon are scary. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna change all of your world.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was such a breath of fresh air. Even when I had to have my first Pokemon catch be Bidoof. Like, regards the fact.
Yes.
I was forced
the
to catch Bidoof by the first Pokemon I ever catch in this game, and I was like,
but look how far you've come.
So, for those who don't know, I guess I should have started with this. Pokemon Legends Arceus is a complete rework to the formula, especially this came out before Scarlet and Violet. So this was the very first like completely open world Pokemon game that they had introduced to the franchise. And the premise of the game is that you are an individual who was like summoned by Arceus, and you fall into the Sinnoh region in the past, like in the, I would say maybe like 500 years something past.
Yeah,
it's pretty
it feels
old.
Stone Age kind of, you know.
It's not even called
like
Feudal Age. It's now called Hisui.
It's called the
Hisui.
Hisui.
Yeah,
Wild.
so
I did not know how to pronounce that.
They call the region Hisuian, but it's basically you're just running through Sinnoh in the past. But but with the Hisuian region, you also get new regional variants and forms of Pokemon, which we can break down
forms
later on, and they kind of continue that trend as well. You know, moving into the later games in the franchise. But yeah, so that's kind of what Arceus is you're dropped into this world. You kind of build up this like feudal town with, you know, people that look eerily similar to people you would find in the modern games. You find like their ancestors basically, and they're totally different, and they're nice, or if they're bad guys they're nice, if they're good guys sometimes they're bad.
It's no longer Jubilife City, it's Jubilife. What is it? Village, I think.
Village.
I literally like. I was like, wait, what is it?
But yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of
correct me,
the
please.
game.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Please.
Gabe, you go ahead and tell us what your first impression was of who'd you pick, all that jazz.
I went with it's not Duat. Duat's middle, and then Samurai's final.
Oshawott.
Rowlet.
What do you mean Rowlet?
No. I went with Oshawott. Dude, Samurai's final Hisuian form, gorgeous. I think it's so cool looking. But my initial thoughts of the game, I was like, okay, cool. You know, we're kind of getting this. It's not like a 100% open world game, but it is so close. I mean, because you have to like teleport to the areas, but I mean, you still can climb, all the stuff. But I liked it. I like throwing, Pokeballs at, the Pokemon. Yes, you can still battle, obviously, and everything like that. But it's just, I don't, falling out of the sky, having God on speed dial, he's like, yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, sorry for dropping you. I hope you didn't bump your head or whatever. But it was cool. I was excited. I have one bad memory of that game launching, and it's Quinn literally had food poisoning. So like every 10 minutes she'd be playing the game for 10 minutes, and then she'd be like, I gotta put this down my head. I'm like, it's about to like throw up or whatever. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But so that's the funny memory outside of the game itself that I have with it. But I had a very good first experience. Loved Samurai's Hisuian form. Jubilife Village is cool. I'm like, oh my god, that's Jubilife City. But and then just throwing the Pokeball. It's so addicting. Just and then you hear the little like firework.
Yeah, I think that's my first impression is like I enjoy the auto catching, if you will, versus auto battling in the new games. I would much rather have the auto catch, like you can just chuck balls all day, all day long, and not have to battle anything, versus the auto batting mechanics of Scarlet and Violet. That was something I was like, this is amazing. It goes with the whole premise of Pokemon. Got to catch them all, and like. You got rewards for catching mass amounts of the same Pokemon too. So you were still encouraged. Like you could catch, like 20 Bidoofs. You get a bunch of money from it. You get experience. You get points towards different quests, which that's something else in this game that was really cool. They vary from the get-go. You get your Pokedex, and your Pokedex goes from a catalog to a quest book that not only do you do side quests for and like catch Pokemon for, and you get experience and you level up different attributes of like different Pokemon through that, and then you also get lots of rewards in that same aspect. That was really cool. The Pokemon the starters are really great. I enjoy most of their Hisuian forms. It also gave me a chance to use Rowlet because I hate Gen 7. So I got to use Rowlet because I never got to use him in the original Gen 7 games, and that was really nice. I wasn't the biggest fan of his Hisuian form, but still a great game. I was enthralled by the game from the second. I will say there's not really any post-game content per se, other than like Volo, but overall the game is
spoilers, man.
So
dude.
Yo, bro,
I never beat it.
Come on, yesterday. Come on, man.
I never beat the game. Did I ever tell you guys I never beat it?
Yeah,
I didn't.
This does introduce the first major performance issues, but they weren't really like the game itself, like frame drops. It was more just in Pokemon in the distance you see operating at like really low frame rates. That was the only performance issue I ever encountered through the entire game.
It was funny too. It was so funny. It was like just like flapping their wings or whatever. Oh, like and there it is.
Yami, what was your first impression of the game?
So my first impression of the game was actually it was really good. So I will admit, it was cool having this new experience. It did feel extremely slow. Unfortunately, this is only from a bad experience because my game actually crashed very early on. And so I made it through the entire tutorial. My game crashed, and then I had to go through the tutorial again. It's a long tutorial for that game. There's a lot of stuff you got to go through before they finally say, you're free, you could go enjoy the open world, right? So, but I mean, aside from that one little performance issue, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was cool that they took the whole idea of, spend some time around these starters and choose who you want to get. They did it in Scarlet and Violet, how, you have to walk to Nemona's house and then you finally choose your starter, but you have them following you. That's kind of how it was in the beginning. The professor gives you some Pokeballs, I think, and you're there and you see all three starters in their natural habitat doing their own thing, chilling. And you see them just running around, and then you catch them and bring them back to Professor. What's his name? Leventon, or something like that.
I think so.
Leviosa. Okay, Professor Leviosa.
And his hat was ugly as poop. Ugly as do the beep
Just
thing.
because it was ugly doesn't mean it was a quirky.
But I thought that was pretty cool because that's like your first chance. Like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to throw a Pokeball or something. I'm gonna catch these guys real quick.
The second he's done from his fucking nap, I'm gonna end you.
But
general first impressions of the game were pretty cool.
Shut up! You know what?
Boom! Destroyed.
Don't do that to him, man. Flam.
He's ugly.
Sorry, go ahead, Yami. We just got off track.
No. You're good. You're good. It's just. I thought it was great to like be able to run around, dodge, roll, stuff like that. I love pissing off Pokemon. It was one of my favorite things to do. Just walk up, you'd see one of those. What are they called? They're not Titan Pokemon. What are they called in that game? Alpha's Pokemon, right?
Alphas.
Seeing Alpha Pokemon. I remember my first time walking up to that Rapidash, And if y'all don't know, like the Rapidash is like what, level 40 or something?
Yeah, and we're like
or you
level
walk up
10
to it,
or
you're like
something.
level 6 or something, and I'm like, oh my god, this thing's so cool. I walk up to it and it's like flame charge or some Hisui move, and it just like crushes you, and you're like, oh. I'm gonna try to catch that thing. Go Rowlet. Like, I understand, but yeah, and just getting absolutely destroyed. I remember running in fear from that Rapidash.
Dude,
Or you can die too, technically.
Yeah,
you can die.
You can.
It's cool.
You can fall damage.
I did like the guaranteed shiny Pokemon though. That guaranteed Ponyta early on too from the quest.
right.
The guaranteed shiny Ponyta. Oh, the shiny sound and stuff in general.
Oh my
Was
gosh, right?
Great fresh of breath air.
Yeah.
So a couple other mechanics that this game introduces. So one, where just like we were talking about, called Alpha Pokemon. They're basically Pokemon that are just they are physically larger and also more powerful than like the normal Pokemon that you can find. Which I love that mechanic. I wish they brought it back, but they didn't. It seems, but you know, maybe one day. They also introduced, like Yami was saying, that your character has like a lot of mobility. You can dodge. You can also get hit by other Pokemon and actually like die to them and like get reset and have to go back to base camp. Some other cool mechanics they introduced. Obviously, you have all the different types of new Pokeballs, and like some fly further, some are you can only throw like really short, but they're really good but they have like a higher catch rate if you like sneak up to people. They also introduced a bunch of other cool stuff like so you have these Pokemon that have like mobility. So you get a deer at some point that you can like use to just like run around the region.
Or do
you also get a Sneasler.
Ew, I hate Sneasler.
Walls.
Oh, it's so ugly.
And towards the end of the game, you also get a bird that basically lets you Breath of the Wild glide around the entire map. Yeah, those were also really nice features. I think that those mechanics of like those mobility mechanics should have been introduced earlier. They shouldn't have been, especially the gliding one shouldn't have been like so
I have a gripe about the Braviary, and this also goes into like kind of like how Scarlet and Violet is with your whole like flying upgrade. I hate that it's a glide. I really do. Give me a chance to flap every once in a while to keep it going. Like, why does it have to be a glide?
Like a recharge.
Yeah, especially since there's a point. I don't know if y'all ever come on. But like,
give me a chance to fap every once in a while. Come on, man.
I mean, hey, you can have a Pokemon with an entire moveset that is very, very sexually charged. You know, you got
my God.
You can struggle.
Alpha Lopunny.
Struggle.
There it is, yeah.
Alpha Lopunny. True. Bounce.
Pound.
Pound, yeah.
I feel like there's more of a tickle in the word. Is there like a tickle?
No, there is a tickle move. There's a move called tickle.
Oh my god.
Austin loves us. Hey, we're just making up for you.
Heavy slam.
But it's like, I don't know if y'all ever like jumped from a super high place in that game and gotten on Braviary and you're like, I'm gonna zoom as far as I could go. There's a fall off distance. There's a distance
where it just like starts just like
or like even like I know it's gliding, but there's actually a distance where Braviary's just like unusable and it just and you just fall.
Vanishes and you just fall and you're
like
right, so
there's only so far you can go. It's dumb.
Little side question: did anyone else like go from like a tall point on the deer and jump off and see if you would?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I did was I got the deer.
That made my game. I did that once and my game crashed.
Oh my god!
There's like a little mushroom cloud above your fucking Switch.
Oh god!
It was like it didn't set back any of my progress because I literally saved beforehand or I had like just gotten the deer, like literally just got it, so I guess it like auto saved or whatever.
Right.
And I have a clip of this on my Twitch channel. I just run off a clip and I hit the ground. I run for like 2 seconds and then it just goes bloop. And I'm like, oh.
That's intended? Is that supposed to be like that?
I was like, oh, okay, no jumping off cliffs for me. Cool.
I thought for the longest time you could actually just swim as the character because you actually do swim for a bit. Then you just drown.
Well, it's kind of like a Ratchet and Clank thing, you know, like you swim for a bit and then that's the equivalent to like the fish coming up and eting you or something, or like you're there, like it gives you time, maybe one jump, and then you're done. Yeah, you're just like,
yeah. No, that's cool.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the other mechanic that we need to talk about is the battle mechanics in this game are very interesting. It introduces this thing called strong and agile style. So there's three options.
Oh yeah.
True.
There's three options for how you can battle or use a Pokemon's move. You can use it in like just normal. You can use it in strong style, which makes the move more powerful, but then it deprioritizes your turn later down the turn cycle thing, which is also something that's on like the side of the screen. It shows like who's going to go next. And then they introduce agile style, which makes your move weaker, but you get to go twice in a row usually. So it prioritizes you on that list rather than the other way around. So it was a lot of this mechanic of, okay, can I kill this thing in one strong hit, or do I need to hit it twice and that's what's going to kill it faster? So that was just a really cool mechanic. Yeah, go ahead, Yami.
Okay. So, have any of y'all ever played Digimon? I know Fuse has a history of playing like Digimon games and everything, like Cyber Sleuth and everything. So this reminded me a lot of like Digimon games. How when you enter a battle, so normally you have like your team set on a battlefield or something in Digimon. And there's like slots that you have to target, normally up to 5. But on the right side, they have that panel of turn order, and it's based off of like your Digimon speed, priorities, and everything. And that was a throwback for me because I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm playing a modern Digimon game, honestly.
Right.
But like with Pokemon battle mechanics, like with type effectiveness and everything. So the new styles and stuff, that was cool for me because it was something I was personally used to it. So I was just worried. I was like, is this going to be the future of Pokemon? That's really where it got me wondering. Like, is Pokemon going to introduce like moves that like a priority list, like in later games? Like, what if Scarlet and Violet comes out before, it was confirmed and everything? What if that game comes out and that's how the battle mechanic's going to be? Are we going to go in and get moves that give priority? Like, Quick Attack lets you go twice in a row. Like, that would be busted.
I feel like Game Freak, Nintendo as a whole, with their Pokemon games, they do these things where they introduce a cool mechanic. Sometimes it's like a kind of like a misfire, but Mega Evolutions, why'd they only introduce that in like a couple games?
Yeah,
and then
I
they
think
just
it was
never
two,
got it
right?
back. It's and then like Z. I mean, everything. I know people don't like Z moves as much as Mega, and then Dynamax. That was just bring back Mega. Blah blah blah. This that. So it's always like a little like jarring to me, like when they just do this. Like, and so I remember that Agile and what was it, Agile and Strong styles. I was always when I saw that, I was like, this is cool. I like this, but I doubt they're gonna bring it back because I was like, this happens so much where they just bring it in for one game and then they just don't bring it back. It reminds me of like, I don't know. It's just very, it's just like for the novelty in that game. Like, it happened like in Halo 4, there's like missions where like, oh, you have this cool weapon or cool ability. It's only there for one mission and then you just never see it again. And it's like, okay. Like, it's not a huge deal to me, but it's always just like, that's very weird that they just, they put all this effort into making this thing, or put maybe just a little bit of effort, and then they just kind of throw it away, after. I'm like, oh, you're not gonna bring it back? Come on, that'd be cool, man. I don't know, but it's a small thing that I notice.
Yeah, like give us a game where you could be like Ash and you show up with the Infinity Gauntlet of like Z moves, Mega Stones, and everything.
Piranha Gauntlet.
In anime they all exist in tandem, and it depends on like what region that you're in, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But that's the anime. We could do that could be a segment of the podcast where we just talk about like the anime.
I listen to you guys.
I would gladly talk about the anime.
Yeah, I will pop off on that one.
So, Fuse, what about you? What is your thoughts on like the battle mechanics and also just like any new mechanics they introduce as a whole?
So my favorite thing about all of this is outbreaks. Outbreaks of certain Pokemon, like mass outbreaks and stuff too.
Yeah,
and the fact that Game Freak, I don't know why they didn't do this for Scarlet and Violet, added when you find a shiny on screen, it does a little sound effect and does like little sparkles before going into the battle, and then so you know that you're near a shiny because that makes it noticeable is that, okay, so
Yeah.
there's a shiny within my vicinity. I need to look around so I don't accidentally miss it. And I like the fact that for a lot of the, I'll go back into the battle style here in a second. That shiny hunting became easier, and then outbreaks, if you find a mass outbreak of one Pokemon, that helps you clear out the guide of all the lists of stuff you have to do. Like you have to catch like this amount of Pokemon, or see this Pokemon do certain moves and whatnot as well. Because you're effectively making the first Pokedex in all of the Pokemon universe. And I'm just gonna make a note here, Professor Oak, you are a liar. You did not make the Pokedex. Shame on you. Shame on you.
They did not think about this, did they?
I invented this myself. No, you didn't.
Well, he probably invented the device, just not the concept of it. You know what I'm saying?
Professor Oak is apparently a kid that Ash met, and like when Celebi takes him back in time, and then
Oh, it's not apparently, it's a fact.
Yeah,
It's
isn't
fact,
that like
yeah.
a thing?
Yeah.
And so then he introduces the Pikachu to Ash on purpose. That was really cool. I saw.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, it's this
anyways,
boy.
Anywho, good stuff. One last thing, let's get through it. Is the story? What do we think about the story of this game? I'll start with this. Is you go basically like quelling these alpha Pokemon that are all Hisuian variants. So there's ones that you get to quell that are like your like the movement mechanic ones, and then there's also ones that are like the area boss, if you will. And those boss fights I think were really fun, and they were really different because they were like physically you had to jump and dodge and roll around and actually throw things at it to make the Pokemon be quelled. I thought that was really cool, and I thought it was really enjoyable. And then eventually it leads you to Spear Pillar, of course, and you have to quell the legendary Pokemon of your choosing. You get to choose between Dialga and Palkia, which their origin forms look awful, but that's just me.
Horse. No,
yeah, they look like big
Palkia's looks
horses.
amazing. I will die on that hill. I'm sorry. Dialga's the only one that looks trash.
So, and then after that, there's like a little post game, if you will, of you go back to Spear Pillar and you help Volo basically kind of like complete his research, and then you have to battle him. Volo being the apparent ancestor to Cynthia is what we can extrapolate. So that's kind of the story of the game. It's really fun, but like after you beat Volo, there's not really anything else to do other than like shiny hunt and like do the outbreaks and complete your Pokedex, which the Pokedex is pretty good too. So yeah. But yeah, anyways, go ahead, Yami.
I think it's crazy that Cynthia got two ancestors in the game though. Like
this is true.
There's Volo and then there's Dami Grandmommy Cynthia. Oh my gosh.
True.
Like,
well, there's a lot of implication that people there's one fan theory that Volo's from the present time, and he was also summoned by Arceus.
You think he was isekai?
Maybe yeah, either he was isekai or that he forcefully isekai'd himself because of his obsession with Arceus, right?
Okay.
So he like managed to find a portal or something like that and bring himself to the past. The flip side to that is that Volo is actually from that time, and that the Dami Mommy one is actually just Cynthia in her old age, and she's just hanging out in the past.
Cynthia, who in her old age, who finally discovered what the ancient scriptures of the runes of Alpha meant.
Yeah.
So, like in Soul Silver, I almost said the ROM hack one. In Soul Silver, like there was that event where if you bring an Arceus to the runes of Alpha, you encounter an Arceus, and there's that weird like the Illuminati stuff that goes on. You actually see real world towns and everything. Like, what if it's like that event actually caused Cynthia to go back into the past, and that's like a weird thing that caused the whole, like, that would have been crazy. And then like you were left with the clone of that Cynthia in the Soul Silver. I don't know. It's just a thought. Just a thought. Game Freak knows what they're doing. They think in the future.
In the interest of time, Fuse, you go ahead. Tell us about the story.
For the story, I was fascinated by meeting the other characters of both, because they're separated mostly two teams besides the people in the village from the what's it called, the Diamond. I'm just gonna say Diamond Team and Pearl Team.
Oh yeah,
Pearl
the
Team.
Diamond Clan,
the clans.
the Pearl Clan. Yeah,
the Pearl Diamond Clan and the Pearl Clan. And I also like the fact that they added that one guy from Gen 5 who got teleported in here as well, the conductor.
Oh, the train master, right?
The train conductor.
The train conductor.
So the train conductor is.
Why do I not remember him?
He was in Gen 5. He was with his brother. That they were like the trail conductor people that did double battles and stuff. But one of them apparently got isekai'd into Legends Arceus and became a part of the, I believe, the Pearl or platinum, not platinum.
He was part of the Pearl people. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's the Pearl clan. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the dude that had Sneasler, but even though Sneasler's garbage, but still. But yeah, but it was still really cool. I like that they added that. I like the pacing of the story. It was a little bit slow at the start. But I do like the fact that they introduced like the alphas, and they're all like really big, like golden form. They're like going crazy because something's going on with Arceus and Giratina and Dialga and Palkia and stuff. I was thoroughly enjoyed. And can we talk about Arceus?
Yeah, honestly,
was like
Arceus.
She could step on me. What?
Yeah.
Can perhaps even sit. Can she sit on me?
Yeah, she can. I'm just saying. I'm being honest.
Listen.
Like there's some good characters in this group. I'm just gonna be honest here.
All right. Whenever I was playing Diamond and Pearl, Platinum, Mars was mommy, and Arceus like the pure side of that, and it's just I don't know. It's just both meters are going off right there. I'm sorry. I don't know what to think here.
Gabe, what about you? What do you think of the story?
Overall, narrative of the Pokédex. I think that's like really cool. It's the first one. You're kind of like getting, you're orchestrating like future Pokemon games, because the ultimate thing is catch them all, get the Pokédex completed for Mr. or Mrs. Professor. I thought that was cool. Probably like halfway through the game, I found myself clicking the A button a lot, because I'm like, oh my god, let me go back out and just freaking play. Let me go play. I kind of started missing some of the story at some points, but I think overall I understood, what was going on from the beginning. I had a hunch it was like, okay, I have modern clothes on. I feel like I'm from the future, and I came back maybe to like fulfill something that God CS wanted me to do, whatever, help with. But it was charming to play through the game. I thought it was cool overall. But yeah, ultimately, I was a little just kind of like bored with the story after a while, even though I think it was cool how they connected the dots with a lot of stuff. And, that's Cynthia, or, and you guys were talking about the train conductor. I, for some reason, do not remember that person. Professor's ugly. I'm sorry. Can't do it, dude. Can't do it. Sneasler, the worst thing ever. It's just ugly, bro. Look at that. Look at that thing. What is that?
No, I agree with you that the story is a bit drawn out. It definitely gets to a point where you're like, all right, I'm mashing this A button. But otherwise, I think it's creative. I think it's a good spin, and I genuinely think that I would prefer Pokemon games to be styled in this format moving forward. It's like what I want them to be like moving forward.
Yeah.
That being said, let's give this game a rank, and then we can move on. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it an 8.5. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's like my peak, almost peak Pokemon for me.
Ooh.
What about you, Yummy?
I'd also have to agree with an 8.5 on it. I want to give it higher, but the thing is, like I said, I dropped the game, right? Like I dropped it after a while. It became stale, because after you beat the story and everything, what's there to do? Shiny hunt, right? Yeah. That's the purpose of the game. At that point, there's not many side quests or much for posts. So, I mean,
it's fun, but it has its flaws.
Yeah, like it just there's a limit into what you can feasibly do in it. So I just have to say that's an 8.5 for me, because I don't. It's not a game I want to replay. It's a game you play.
One and done.
Yep, it's a one and doneer.
One and done.
Fuse, what about you?
I got a little bit of mix, but like I for the game as a whole, I really enjoyed it. I just wish that besides like some of the Hisuian forms, because we only got like maybe about 20-ish new Pokemon in this one game. I thought they may have like given us like a couple ones, like maybe like there's like some sort of like Bazooka legendary that exists back in this time, but oh no, it like got extinct somehow for something to happen. I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Well, we did get the new like Thunderous Landorus thing or whatever. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, that's right.
That little pink one.
That abomination that I hate.
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
And Amoris. It makes no sense. Why is it here?
Real quick question: Were the lake spirits in that game? They were, right?
They were.
Okay, I was just like, oh yeah, you need them to make the chain. Duh. I'm just thinking. My bad.
Look at the starters. I wish that their middle forms were a little bit more of the Hisuian variants as well, because it just goes from like Cyndaquil, Quilava, regular Quilava to Hisuian Typhlosion for
did anyone
major
stop
difference.
Like using their starter at any point?
I use mine.
I stayed with Samurai.
So you know how like back in the town, there's that person, and you're able to and they're like, oh, I really wish I had like a Pokemon to help me like till this grass or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I went up to him and I looked at my Decidueye, my Decadui, and I just went, hey man, you're going to help the village here, all right? You're a dapper young fool, stay here.
Wow.
So I left him with the villager.
The starter.
And then I went out and
dare you? And
then I
played your first Pokemon in the region to mow grass.
That's right. It is a grass type.
He said I need like a fighting type to break rocks or something. I was like, that's your job, boy. Here you go. And I left him there. And then I went and I caught another one, and I think that's the one that I kept using.
Give him a Machop!
I know.
What's wrong with you? I'd give the game with all the like the new changes in the open world, I'd probably give like a 9 out of 10, in my opinion.
Fair.
Because Game Freak went in and gave for our own first adaptive open world. And they're like, okay, so this is what we're going to try to go for the future. Let us know how you guys think. And throwing Pokeballs just is fun, dude.
It's fun. It's
so
addicting.
Fun,
it's just like,
it's addicting. Like, I have 999 Pokeballs, but I spent them in like 3 hours because I've been
cracked them. Yeah.
It's probably one of the best 10-second gameplay loops that they've created in a while, because it's like kind of like how modern games work is if you have a good 10-second loop that you do in games, it's like that's like the key, that's like the core. The fact of just like running around, throwing a ball, running around, grab, that's like it's chef's kiss. It's great. And
honestly though, thinking it over for like a couple seconds, I'd probably give like 8.5 because no Primate.
Okay.
True.
No Primate.
Throw it in the trash.
Primate.
All right, Gabe, what about you?
So it's tough for me to pick between like 7.5 and 8. I would probably ultimately say 7.5.
That's fine.
I kind of, I played it. I had a fun time with it, but like Yami said earlier, it's kind of like a one and done. The Titan Pokemon, whatever, the alphas or whatever, the big bosses, those like, it was cool at first, and then it was the same thing again, maybe a little harder, and then the same thing again, and I'm like, I'm pressing the dodge button. The dodge feels a little too easy to do. I'm like, it kind of felt like an afterthought with the whole dodging thing, or maybe they had that from the beginning, and they were like, oh, there's going to be dodging. It feels very just simple, though. I know it's their first take
They're trying to emulate Dark Souls.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just, it might as well be Dark Souls. It's the same thing.
Gabe, hold on. I don't know if this would like influence your thing, but I know in the last one you kind of talked a lot about the music, right? How did you feel about the music in Legends? Because I felt like it kind of slapped, or at least the Warden theme was one of the things that got me.
Warden was cool. Warden was cool.
Because I don't know if any of y'all noticed the Elite Four music for like Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, like that. Yeah, that right there, dude. The fact that they added the slappiest slap bass of all time, I positively throw ass my card to that song sometimes.
Can I add like one little thing at the very end of this real quick? Like, so for those that like continued it and like fought Giratina and Volo and stuff, how much did you freak out when Giratina retransformed again into its original form after beating it the first time?
Oh my god!
I need to see his original form.
Oh my god! What just happened to me,
bro? It's back to back. That was hype. Yeah. Like
literally, you beat like original like big Giratina and he's like falling back, but then he does like springs back up, transforms into his original form, and you have to refight him again. I was like, oh no!
It's because you have like you have three. Those Pokemon are like in their 70s, right? Like whenever you're doing this, like I remember whenever I did that, I was like in my 60s, right? So I'm just looking at like my overbuff level 65 starter, and then all my other level 50s, and we're just like, we're doing this. Like, we're doing this.
You're getting destroyed today.
My god! Like I was like, oh my god, that was crazy. Oh my god.
Ultimately, though, I would say probably 7.5. I feel like, it's a game I had fun with, but I don't see myself really going back to it. But I did have a lot of fun throwing Pokeballs, and in the beginning, I really, I thought like they would get repetitive. I'm somebody who like if something gets really repetitive in a game, like a small little thing like that, I always get scared. I'm just not gonna like be, I don't want to catch everything now, But I was pleasantly surprised with how addicting it was. Just a little firework that came up when you caught it, and it was just, it was cute, But I liked it. 7.5 is what it is, and I think people would have a fun time playing this game regardless of whether they play Pokemon or not.
Yeah, I think even if you didn't like know Pokemon and you went in with this completely new formula, you would just be like, oh my god, like it's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
I wish they'd spend a little bit more time on their textures. I'm sorry. Like, as I'm always saying, I'm not expecting Elden Ring ultra settings, but just a little bit more.
I am.
TLC.
I am.
A little freer.
I want
The
this to
unknown
be
mini
VR.
quest was also cool.
So that's it for Pokemon Legend Arceus. I want to take a minute to kind of just talk about other games that we're playing right now, and then I think we can wrap the podcast. I am playing right now. I'm not as much Valorant as I was last week, but I've been playing Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie's murderous and hard. I'm getting back into Mario Party. We started a Mario Party tournament thing, which I'm very excited for. And then
I got second place.
What else? I'm trying to think of like, what are y'all laughing at?
I'm sorry. You were talking about Banjo-Kazooie, and it just reminded me. I was in a call with Fuse the other day, and I'm like, I mentioned something about Banjo-Kazooie, and he goes, well, yeah, it's the predecessor to Jak and Daxter or something, or like it's the one that comes before Jak and Daxter. I went, wait, is it by the same person? He goes, no, you idiot. And I'm like, I was like, oh, it makes sense because sometimes the bear is riding the rooster or whatever, and he goes, no, you boosted.
The rooster.
I don't even know, man.
We almost beat Raph. Me and my brother, we're still playing that, and I think after we beat Raph, we're gonna probably dive into the forest. So
I've heard about that game. I heard that's good. I heard
the forest is the one with like the plane crash,
It's-
right?
Yeah, it's been like a thing with me and my brother. We just been kind of like we just hang out some nights and we just play a survival crafting game and just go through it. It's been fun. I think I might start.
Well,
like,
I'll tell you,
sessions and,
I've
like,
never
put 'em
gotten
on
too
YouTube.
far in it, but it could be pretty freaky, man. I think you'll enjoy it though.
What about you, Yami? What you been playing? You still League pilled?
League pill. I mean, games I play on the side every now and then. I play some League, man. I've been putting a lot more time. I've had a pill for Rad Red recently. Radical Red. It's a Pokemon ROM hack. I don't know. It's been taking my life. Like I was telling people the other day. I woke up Tuesday, Wednesday, and I looked at my phone. Girl messages me, "Good morning. How's your day going?"
Yami has bitches.
Yeah, like she goes, "What are your plans for today?" And I go, "I'm gonna play some Rad Red for hours and get tilted."
Giga Chad.
And so,
oh my god,
it wasn't like, oh, do you want to like go out and do something? I was like, I'm gonna go play some Rad Red like right now. Brush my hair.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Go live.
Yeah. What about you, Fuse?
So I'm actually changing up some games. So I was taking a week off since I did my egg lock for Pokemon Violet. I've beat that. We completed it, etc., etc. I've been trying to do some Shiny Hunt this week, but then I've been on call at work, so I've had to cancel some streams, unfortunately. But in the good news, I got a new job. I'm starting on the 13th, so I don't have to worry about on call.
We love to hear that, man.
And I'm gonna get some wrinkles in the brain and try a ROM hack called Pokemon Crystal Kaizo Plus.
You don't
So
want
it's
wrinkles,
gonna be
man. You want a
words.
smooth brain.
It's gonna it's gonna be very, very hard. I'm not gonna allow my community to influence the game as much as they've had in the past, like reset runs, release Pokemon, etc. Because I'm gonna be losing Pokemon left and right by myself. I don't need their help.
Nothing else.
It's a challenge enough for you.
Yeah, I'm excited to start that, and then just to see how like my new work schedule is gonna be. Hopefully, I think it's gonna be like 8 to 5, so it should be something similar to what I'm used to. But I'm very excited and to start that start the challenge starting tomorrow. So.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. Gabe, what about you? What you been playing?
So I jumped back on Halo Infinite a little bit, even though that game kind of still is lackluster. I've been having fun, just hanging out on like some Team Slayer stuff like that. But Dead Space remake is Slayer Oddball.
Oh yeah, the Dead Space remake came out.
Yes, dude. Dead Space is a great play ball.
I never played. Maybe I'll have to revisit that. I never played Dead Space originally.
Try it out. I think it's a perfect balance between between horror and action. So addicting and fun. You have like, it's kind of like a inventory management game as well. So reminiscent of Resident Evil, of course, too. I'm sure it got some of that from Resident Evil, but it's just a fun game. There's some changes, like Isaac Clarke in Dead Space 1 originally did not talk at all. He had his voice from getting hurt, this that. But I have so much fun in that game. They're called necromorphs, the aliens. But what you do is you don't shoot them in the head to kill them. You're like, zombie, you shoot it in the head, kill it. But you have to dismember the limbs, so like shoot off the arm and the leg. It's a little bit more kind of cartoony gore. It's still gross gory, but it's more cartoony is what I would say. Not like like Fallout, where it's like really grounded in reality with the gore and stuff. But then you stomp on their dead bodies to like make items come out, so like ammo or the credits as the money, whatever. And if you stomp a lot, Isaac starts going like he goes like,
that was so funny to hear. He goes like, get down,
yeah. And like just the sound, it's like that, that swishy, like you're like, crunching on celery, like, and I'm like, dude, it's so addicting. But and I'm so, I still find myself, shiny hunting on Scarlet and Violet 2 on the side as well when I'm not on the pooter. But Dead Space remake, if you were thinking about it, if you've never played it before, if you can handle the horror, I don't really get scared easily from horror games, but Dead Space isn't super scary. It's scary, but it's like, I keep doing this, I don't know why. I'm so excited for the game. It's
audio
good.
listeners love you to death.
Yes, that's right. I'm doing air quotes, guys.
I'm glad you're happy there, Gabe.
Hello, everybody. Wait. God, there's a bunny. Oh, it's Lopunny. It's Lopunny. Oh my God, Yami, she's coming down to you.
All right, well, thank you everybody for listening to the Boosted Feud podcast. That wraps it up for us. Yami, our lovely guest, where can we find you at online?
Yami.com.
Yami.com. Y'all can find me on my Twitch at Yamiko with a 0 instead of an O between the K and the H. Same thing on YouTube. Been doing a lot of YouTube content lately. That's been a lot of fun, honestly. Other than that, socialize with me on Twitter. It's gonna be great. I've been chilling a lot. Also
Google
Flam.
search Yami Mommy.
Flam, I love you. I love you, Flam. I love you, Flam.
Thank you. I love you, Yami.
Now, do you know what this is?
I don't want to know what that is.
It's a ball sack.
Uterus?
No, it's a ball sack.
Of course it is. All right.
I've been doing this to my friends a lot lately. I go like
Please
this.
follow us on.
I went like this to my friend the other day at a gig, and she goes, "Oh, Chris loves me," and then I go. And she goes from this to
Oh, that's good.
Nah, just like bop.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to the Boost You podcast. Make sure to like, review, subscribe, whatever platform you're listening on. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Amazon Podcast or Amazon Music, and you can find us on YouTube. Also, we have a Twitter at Pod Boosted. Make sure to follow that for the latest and greatest news of what's happening on the podcast. And thank you so much. We will see you guys next Wednesday. We're going to be talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield next week, and I'm excited to do that
with another friendly friend.
Yeah, we have a new friend. Thank you again,
Babies.
Yami, and thank you guys for being a part of the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening. See you later. Bye.